A-ho, Thomas? Really? A-ho? What great timing. Congratulations, Thomas Potts. So, okay, I'm getting an echo. There we go. Qapla, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of JarLife. What is JarLife? Well, it's basically like BedLife, except without the video, without the camera. Yeah. Makes life a little easier on me and Mama Pray. Don't have to move things to get things ready. Don't have to, go through a whole bunch of things to get ready to go on camera. But we can still talk about the same things we talk about on any other BedLife stream, more of an open-ended discussion. So we'll see. We'll hope it works out. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Well, one Saturday is not the worst. So Thomas Potts starts out as calling me a hoe. Then he says hi. So I guess he's saying hi ho, hi ho. I don't know if he's singing. Maybe it was a typo. I thought he was singing that. What's that? The Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs song. John Street says we know it. Bird is really Jar Jar Abrams. Well. That I was not expecting. Thomas Potts says, remember nation states? I do. Thomas, in fact, I have a browser tab open to nation states all the time. But that's true. I rarely go there. The Multi-Gunman says, hey, Bird, how's it going? It's going good, Multi-Gunman. I'm glad you could catch us today. Welcome. I hope you are doing well. John Street says, Thomas, did you forget? What did Thomas forget? Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. And Thomas Potts puts in a $1.99 super chat, for which he got Jadzia Dax and her former symbiont spouse, making out on Deep Space Nine. And Thomas says, for $1.99, please, for the sake of the kids of Karoga, surrender. Please, for the fake kids of Karoga's sake, surrender. Why would we surrender? Karoga is the most powerful faction in the game. Yosef says JarLife, so no video. And is that a sad face or a happy face? I can't tell. Let's see. Oh, it's a sad face. I'm sorry, Yosef. I was hoping nobody would care. Thomas says, ho was an accident. Sure it was, Thomas. The Multi-Gunman says, explore the internet, but the internet is banned in Kurdistan. And even if it wasn't, they don't have the infrastructure for it. Oh, that's true. Although I think the United States must give Kurdistan like some type of internet stipend or something, because they do have surprisingly decent internet for such a third world crappy country. But I guess, like North Korea, they find a way. They find a way to get on. Joseph says, hi, Joe, Mamo Pray, Sassy, and the Flock. Everybody's saying, welcome to you, Joseph. Thomas says, Bird is nude. No, technically not nude. Thomas says, that's why no camera. Mamo Pray is, yes, no problem. Okay. Multi-Gunman says, Bird is butt-ass naked. That's why the camera is off. I am not naked. I am not nude. However, I wouldn't want to go on camera in my current clothes condition. Molding on mint. I just read that. Yosef says, Alexa, turn on the camera. Doesn't work like that. Thankfully. Josh Street says, Thomas, even Bird doesn't care about Grogan kids. He makes them mine in robot hell since Bird lives in New York, next to Turtistan, aka Karoga or New Jersey. I could see Turtistan being New Jersey. But we don't make kids mine, okay? That was fake news spread by Anti-Tracker. The kids were not mining uranium, they were simply working with uranium because they were the advanced 4th grade class and they wanted to work with the uranium. John DeMarco says, hello all, welcome John DeMarco. And of course, we care about no video Bird. Your rugged good looks are inspiration. Damn it. If Doomcock can stream without a picture, why can't I? Ryan Johnson says, hello and Qapla. Thomas Potts is here. Time to shut down the stream. No. Thomas Potts says, birthday suit, oh pray 5. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. I'm sure everybody's happy with that description. So what we can do is go to the web browser. And I was like, well, let's figure out some stuff to do today. And as I was getting ready for this stream, the first thing I read about is YouTube is now saying that they've decided to again change their mind. And they're not going to take away the check marks from the large channels like Nerdrotic that already have the check marks after they said they were going to take them away. And if you read this update, and this was updated as of 3 p.m. yesterday. So this was like the latest news because they were back and forth on this issue. Now it's officially the people who have the check mark can keep their check mark. Just like when Obama said people could keep their doctors. But apparently YouTube is claiming that the reason they wanted to take away the check marks was because people were mistakenly thinking that if a person had a check mark, YouTube endorsed their content, which is the dumbest thing I ever heard, okay? You'd have to be like a total idiot to think YouTube endorses anyone's content. YouTube doesn't even endorse their own creators' channel content. So instead of trying to teach people and maybe put a tooltip over the check mark, where if you brought the mouse over the tooltip over the check mark, it would say this is not an endorsement of content. This is merely a verification they are the person they claim to be or the entity they claim to be. They decided, we'll take it away from thousands and thousands of people. And then because of the backlash, they went ahead and again changed their mind so that, okay, if you've already got it, you can keep it, but going forward, it's going to be harder to get. And right now, even if you hit the 100,000 sub mark, which was basically the only thing you had to do previously, and then they'd have to actually verify you that you were a real channel and not pretending to be someone else, that is currently closed, but it will open again sometime the end of the year. And by next year, they're going to change the look or something of the verified. My guess is it won't be a check mark. It'll just be like a V for verified, so that nobody associates the check mark with actually, endorsing content. Under current eligibility requirements, channels with more than 100,000 subscribers can be verified regardless of need of proof of authenticity. Well, what the hell? Why would you even have that? That worked well when YouTube was smaller. But as YouTube has grown to an ecosystem and become more complex, we need a new way to verify the identities of channels and help find official channels they are looking for. Our new criteria prioritizes verifying prominent channels that have a clear need for proof of authenticity. We look forward to a number of factors to determine if the channel meets that criteria, including authenticity. Does this channel belong to a real channel creator, artist, public figure, or company it claims to represent? Performance. Does this channel represent a well-known or highly searched creator, artist, public figure, or company? Is this channel widely recognized outside of YouTube as having a strong presence online? Why should that be necessary? YouTube is the premier place to have a video presence online. Nobody should need to have a presence outside of YouTube. If they are a big enough channel with thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of viewers, okay, they shouldn't need a separate online presence. YouTube is supposed to be that presence. Is it a popular channel that has a very similar name to many other channels? Well, those cases, I imagine, are far and in between. Few and far between. And certainly if you're trying to pretend to be another channel, they should just shut you down or immediately. They shouldn't wait for another channel to get a check mark before they go looking for you. This new criteria will apply to all channels. Channels that meet the new requirement no longer need to apply. We will automatically apply the new verify treatment. For more info about verification eligibility, check out the Help Center. Which basically means you can't apply, and don't call us, we'll call you. If we want to verify you going forward, we'll verify you, and if we don't, live with it. Where are we? John Street says Buckoroga is known as the breakaway province called Turdistan, New Turdistan, called New Jersey. No, none of that is true. Joseph says, Flock, hit the like. Thank you. Multigun says, Bird, we need to find automatic rifles on the dark web. No, we don't need, you want to search the dark web? I have Tor, but, man, it's scary. I'll be honest. Tor is some scary stuff. Tor is some scary stuff. I guess. And what's the worst that could happen? Oh, the worst that could happen is my channel could be shut down. Never mind. Maybe we won't. Thomas is checkmark. I've never noticed one. To be honest, neither did I. But apparently this was a big thing. Multigun Man says, neither have I. I don't even know there was such a thing on YouTube. Multigun Man says, FOYT for F off YouTube. John DeMarco says, if only prominent channels will get check marks, then the check mark will probably indicate channels that people like us won't be interested in. Yes, but now the ones who have it are keeping it. So like Nerdrotic apparently has a check mark. Like, let's check it out. Because honestly, I mean, I don't ever remember seeing a check mark on Nerdrotic channel. So let's see. We are exploring the internet. There it is. He has a check mark. I would never have noticed. Verified. Oh, so that must mean YouTube endorses his content. So I should be an idiot, go on social media, go on Twitter, and tweet YouTube and said, how can you endorse Nerdrotic's content since he's such a misogynist and hates women and minorities and blah, 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 blah. And YouTube will be like, oh my God, we've got to get rid of check marks. Instead of saying, no, idiot, a check mark doesn't mean we endorse his content. It only means that we verified he is the person known as Nerdrotic. Annoying. Alexander Brooks is in the house. Says, hello, friends. I may be drunk. Alexander, you're okay. That's fine. It's a Saturday. You're allowed to be drunk. Jason Link says, hi, Bird. Welcome back, Jason. And Alexander says, I'd lick the like button. Very cool. And I'd never check mark. I've never a check mark outside of Instagram. Well, I've seen the check marks on Twitter. On Twitter, the check marks are prominent. And to be honest, I think more important, because Twitter will let anybody fake any account, any name. I mean, it's ridiculous the stuff people get away with on Twitter. In terms of fake names and fake accounts. And like one place they'll say this is a parody account, and then everything else they're allowed to completely fake. I mean, there are accounts that look like they're celebrity accounts. It has their name, it has their pictures. They're talking in the first person, like, oh, I'm going here, I'm going there, I like this, I like that. But when you get to the page and you look at the main page, they're in the description, it says this is a parody account. And that's it. But everything else, 100% looks legit. And I honestly, thankfully, I was smart enough to look at these things before, and I found out. But like I found there was somebody posted something pretending to be a celebrity that said something really stupid once. Actually, more than once, I think this happened. And I typed off this big. Now I know Twitter, you can only put in so many characters. So I started typing in another thing so I could paste in more than one, more than one post. And I typed out this whole long thing. I was like, how can you believe this? Blah, 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 blah. And then right before I hit send, I said, let me check on this. So I clicked on the link and I get to their page. I mean, it looked completely legit. It looked exactly like the person's actual page, which I'd been to before. But there was like one letter off. And if you look in the description, it says this is a parody account of so-and-so. Blah, 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 blah. And that's it. I mean, I didn't write it. I stopped myself from looking like a fool. But honestly, it's not my fault. It's Twitter's fault for even allowing people to do that. Okay, listen, I'm all for free speech. And that, but pretending to be somebody you're not isn't free speech. That's not a free speech issue. And that is something that Twitter could prevent if they wanted to. Okay, they could say, listen, you pretend to be somebody, you get a warning, and you get that account deleted. You do it a second time, you're done. You're just done. Bird is alpacafied, not verified, says Not Ryan Johnson. Alexander doesn't Twitter. Multi-Gunman says Twitter is for twits. I understand. I try not to Twitter that much, but sometimes there's just, there's just things you wanna see. Beagles. Sometimes there's not enough beagles here. Oh, look at these little beagle puppies. Oh, yeah. That's it. Every Karogan's getting a beagle puppy. Oh, what's that? Our beagle puppy orphanage was destroyed by the anti-trekker? Oh, that's terribly sad. Thanks, Turtistan. You killed all the beagle puppies. Sassy, don't listen. What's that? Auntie's dog treat is made out of other beagles. Oh my god, anti-trekker truly is a monster. Oh. Yeah, so you get caught up in Twitter. Let's see, what else? What else is going on Twitter? Lego. Lego model. Arizona pension system sues state takeover public records. Who the hell cares? After climate strike protest in Portland yesterday. Jesus, this climate strike bullshit. Yesterday, around 50 masked Antifa militants descended near a local ICE facility. They threw projectiles and rocks at offices. This is what happened when federal, not local police initiated an arrest. Oh, well, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, because the local Portland police wouldn't dare arrest Antifa. I mean, they're pretty much... Antifa is pretty much, in bed with the Portland police. But yeah, you try to pull that stuff off on federal officers, and you're gonna get you're gonna have a bad day. I've successfully ignored about 99% of the climate protest. All I hear is this annoying teenage girl who the news keeps talking about. She's not even an American. She came here from like Sweden or Switzerland or some European country. And she's like, my teacher tells us that this is going to be, we need to fix the climate. Meanwhile, whether it's Switzerland or Sweden, she's in no danger of anything, of the water or anything. But even if she was from Holland or somewhere that it might actually overflow, just because your teacher teaches you something doesn't mean it's real, lady. They bring out these kids. They prop up these kids so that you can't attack the message without it looking like you're attacking a child. But just because, that doesn't do anything. It's like, oh, so many thousands of students attended this walkout on Friday. Well, hell yeah, when I was going to school, if you told me I could go to a protest over going into school for the day, I probably would have gone to the protest too. I don't care. Short of protesting cheeseburgers, I probably would have gone, even if I didn't give a shit about the issue. You want to protest, fur? I don't care. Listen, I think people should have the right to own fur, but I don't particularly like the fact that people do buy furs. I think it's a waste. Today, it's one of the things that I don't have a problem with it because morally I just don't, but I just think it's a bad decision to make. So like if it was something like that I was kind of on the fence on, yeah, I would go do that over a day of school and just, chanting around with my friends or something. That's something I would do. What the hell is this? Don't be an idiot? Oh my god. Oh my god, what is going on? What is going on? This person... Holy... I hope this is CGI'd in. It's easy enough to CGI in. Since not one of these cars turns or veers off course, they all go completely straight. I'm gonna bet, I'm gonna say with like a 90% certainty, this was CGI'd in. The person, they recorded cars passing, and somebody cleverly CGI'd in a guy doing tumble salts across the road and doing this. They probably did this on a green screen and just overlaid it. Because literally, You see, this is why I hate the internet sometimes. You can't believe anything. Okay, this bus couldn't do anything. That bus could. This car could. And then certainly that car and this bus could have turned. They could have made an attempt to stop. They could have gone left or right. They didn't slam on the brakes. Nothing. This is fake. This is fake video. This is fake news. I wonder if anybody knows that. I wonder if anybody else in this has discovered that this is fake news. Yeah, fake. Nobody tried to stop. Absolutely. Absolutely. See? Very fake, very good fake, but fake just the same. Yes, this should make you realize you can't trust any video that was, not being real anymore. Of course it's not real, folks. No one's saying it is. It's simply funny. No, it's not funny. It's stupid. There's nothing funny about it, especially when it's trying to be passed off as real. I hate, that's what I hate. Fake news. This is why I shouldn't go on Twitter. This is why I shouldn't go on Twitter. Rambo, is this guy complete? Oh, yes, Rambo. There we go. Yeah, I do wish we could see Rambo. The new one. Star Trek Discovery is like a very bad acid trip. That would explain so much. Hashtag Star Trek Picard. Yes, if you take the crystal, your fate will be sealed forever. That was that ridiculous line. Oh. Biden. What else? What else we got? Youth leaders at UN demand bold climate change action. How about they demand they get a goddamn better teacher? Youth leaders. There's no such thing as a youth leader. Yay. Beagles. Beagles. See, after some fake video, I need some real beagle videos to make everything good again. Barking. An ex-con is accused of a woman near Queen's apartment allegedly threatening unless she had with him or committed. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, I think that's an easy choice. That's too hot for YouTube. CNN, dozens of people injured when a 5.6 magnitude earthquake struck during Albania's along Albania's central coast. Oh, that sucks. Sorry to any Albanians out there. That looks like a lot of damage for a 5.6 magnitude quake. Okay, I'm back at the chat. I'm back at the chat. Thomas Potts says, I can spy on Bird on Twitter, and he can't see me. Okay, Thomas. Jason Link says he can if you follow him, lol. John DeMarco says a bird can't help but Twitter. Yeah, that's true. Thomas says all the beagles were beamed out. No, bullshit. Multi-Gunman says, whatever you do, don't go to the Death Addict website. Yeah, no, I'm not going to. I am not going to, Multi-Gunman. There was some crazy, yeah, I've been to some of those sites, and it just makes you sick at being a human being. Alexander is lolling. Alexander says the evil anti-trekker. What was that, Portland, Oregon? According to the tweet, it was. Thomas says, what does ice have to do with climate change? God, these people are morons. While ICE is using, fossil fuels in the pursuit of border crossers. So, yes, that's why. Wesley Crushers is Bird of Prey. How are you, man? Doing pretty good, Wes. How are you? Alexander says, yeah, Portland is communist. Multi-Gunman says, I totally agree with you about the climate stuff, Bird. These so-called environmentalists can stick it in their ass. Listen, I am all for reducing pollution. Okay? 100% for reducing pollution. And we shouldn't put poison into our waters, into our environment. I don't want to see our rivers, like in New York, our rivers run brown with sewage and shit. And the ocean, off of New York. Oh my God. Growing up as a kid in New York, you go to the beach, the water's brown, but you don't know anybody. You're like, oh, it's brown. Why? I asked, my aunt, hey, why is the water brown? Oh, because of the sand. Sure, I believe that. Until I get to Florida, or worse, the Bahamas, and the water is crystal blue. You can see, it's so clear you can look down and see your feet, even though, your 3 or 4 feet of you is underwater. And hell, even if you're in a boat, you can look down and see 10 feet down. It's so clear and clean in the Bahamas. And then you come back to New York and you realize you're playing in sewage. It's not water, it's sewage. Every beach in the Northeast should be closed until the water turns blue again, which it might take 100 years. I don't know. But yes, I'm all for keeping the water clean, keeping the air clean. But carbon dioxide is not a pollutant. Okay? Arsenic, that's a pollutant. That you don't want. Arsenic is bad news. I'm not for putting arsenic. I'm not for putting lead. I'm not for putting, mercury, things that actually hurt people. Carbon dioxide doesn't hurt people. Not when it's released harmlessly into the atmosphere. Thomas says schools only support one-sided protests. Yeah, they won't let kids skip for a pro-Trump event. Absolutely not. Jason Link says real-life Frogger, lol. You see, Jason, though, the problem is an idiot will look at that video, think it's real, and then try to duplicate it. Thomas says it's more real than Kurokin news. Alexander says, I'm totally in agreement, Bird. I'm a vegetarian, but I don't care if other people eat meat. I just personally don't like it. It's a personal choice. I would never force my choice on anyone. I can respect that. And the same about fur, yes. Josh reads his Bird, watch the blue bus right tire. It would have run over the guy's head. Yeah, probably. Alexander says, yeah, real life Frogger. Josh reads his low Bird found the running of the beagles. Real Beagle videos, cool platinum membership, worth every penny. Multi-Gunman says, sorry, Bird, Shetland sheepdogs are the best dogs. Beagles are in the top 10, but Shetland sheepdogs are the top spot. Shetland. Let's start a new tab. Shetland sheepdog. That looks like a border collie. Isn't that Lassie? Isn't that a border collie? Oh, it's a smaller breed. Okay. The Shetland sheepdog is a very vocal breed. The border collie is also a very vocal breed. Border collies are one of the best watchdogs. The Shetland sheepdog has a low chance of biting somebody. Which one is better? How could you say which one is better? Popularity rank 24. Other names, breed type, whatever, breed recognition, price, Jesus. Okay, so the sheepdog is basically the smaller version of the border collie. So it's like Lassie Jr. I mean, I'll be honest, it's a good looking dog. I did have fondness for a border collie, but they would just seem like too big of a dog for us. And once we had gotten the beagle when I was a kid, at that point it was always going to be hounds, whether it was a beagle or a basset hound or some other type of hound. One time I did go to a shelter looking for a dog, and I kind of saw it was called a Harrier, which just looked like a big beagle. Harrier. Yeah, I mean, a Harrier, I mean, to me, I was like, oh my God, it's just a giant beagle. Because it's like 2 or 3 times the height of a beagle. It's a really cool looking dog. Well, I don't know, probably turned out, fortunately, somebody else had already started the adoption process on it. So I never ended up leaving and not adopting any dog that particular day. And then not long later, I ended up getting sick. And we had 2 dogs anyway, because Mom and Sister O'Prey both brought their dogs. Wesley says, how's it going? It's going good. Alexander says, Albania has coast. You know, that's what I was kind of curious about. Did I misread it? I might have misread it. Albania earthquake. I guess they do. Albania map. Yeah, they do. They've got the coast. They're on the Mediterranean, right across from Italy. Okay, technically the Adriatic, but it's the Mediterranean. So I guess they do. Yeah. Oh, you do this offhand? Yeah, okay. Is there a reason you're particularly familiar with Albanian geography, or? Not from school. I was gonna say, I mean, listen, I know there's a lot of things you know a lot about, but geography, I don't recall it being particularly high on your list. No. Understood. Yeah, so there's Albania. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about the whole Mediterranean, how it influenced human civilization. That it was like it's the first superhighway. Like, you could travel so much quicker in the water. If you wanted to go from Spain to Turkey or Syria or the Ottoman Empire, you could do that. You could get in a boat with the wind, and it might take you 3 or 4 days, but you could get there probably in less than a week. Where if you were going using camels and shit and walking through this way, assuming you weren't killed before you got there, you're probably looking at 2 months or a month's journey. And if you wanted to go through Europe, you'd have to cross the Alps or go way, way out of your way. So again, you'd probably be killed. I'm not saying you'd only have been killed here, but you'd probably be killed up here too. Now, granted, you had your own dangers in the Mediterranean, but it was the safer and much faster route. Ozzy NF says, Bird, how are things in Karoga? I haven't been on in a couple of days. Ozzy, everything you've known is gone. The Karogan main base, totally obliterated by Anti-Trekker and Kurdistan. But luckily, I did, between their first and second attack, I did manage to drain the base of everything worthwhile, aside from some uranium and some other minor stuff. And we created a new secret underground bunker in the side of a mountain, many, many kilometers away from the old base. So when you do respawn, if you respawn underground in an old green dark bunker, then you're at the new base. If you respawn outside, then you're probably at Azine's base. So you're going to respawn in one of those two places in all likelihood, because the main Karoga base is gone. If you want to see what the main Karoga base looks like, I put up a video yesterday on my Birdo Prey 5X channel. So if you go to Birdo Prey 5X, or if you go to birdoprey5.com and click on the link to go to Birdo Prey 5X channel and subscribe to that, that's where I put most of my recorded Space Engineers videos. You can see what the base looked like when I investigated it yesterday. But like I said, 99% of our base's resources did get moved, and the only thing I'd ask at the new base is that we're doing most things underground. We don't want to have a giant presence on the surface. So if you do need to make a place where you're going to build like a ship or something, go ahead and fly a few kilometers away and just make your landing pad there and just build a ship or something over there. Or if you do build a ship, make sure it's of the colors that make it, the colors need to blend in with the local surroundings, and no antenna, okay? It doesn't need an antenna. If you put an antenna on, it's just going to give away the position. So either no antenna, or if you're going to put an antenna, you got to shut it off or put it down to like a 1 meter broadcast radius, and you only turn it on when you actually leave the atmosphere. Then fine, turn on the antenna if you must. But you absolutely need to turn that antenna off before returning to the new base. We don't want to give away the position yet. Thomas says, and how much CO2 has Karoga caused with all your crashes? Never mind. Josh Street says, Bird, don't you mean you don't want to see the river run brown again? The river is still running brown. Thomas says, AOC told Bird that last night. Lol, Google, says Alexander. I like old English sheepdogs. Dan23 says hi. Welcome, Dan23. Alexander says 24 watchers and 8 likes. 24? I only see 14. Oh. Alexander says he does 24 a second time. Says damn it, and then it says 14. Yeah, that's more like it. Dan23 says he's English. Wow, very cool. Alexander says God save the Queen. Yes. Did I ever tell you guys about my trip to England? It was one of my favorite trips, okay? This was 2005, and my boss, Mr. Frank, the billionaire, was still alive. In fact, it was the last big trip we went on with him, and we stayed in Mayfair, the Claridge's Hotel in Mayfair. Now, the Claridge's Hotel was a very expensive, exclusive hotel, but it wasn't the most modern hotel in London. There were some really cool modern hotels that we passed by, and we saw other people that, you know, for the younger guys, that was most of us, we would have preferred staying at one of these newer, more modern places. But Claridge's was an old school English style, very fancy, very proper hotel. I mean, they had great service. You could put out your shoes. They would do your shoes overnight. I mean, a lot of hotels do that, but they were big on it. They were like, you know, they were inviting people to do it. They would bring fresh fruit into your room. I never been to a hotel where they just gave you fresh fruit, and it wasn't that they charged you for it. They would just bring it. You had a bowl of fruit, and if you ate an apple that day, there would be 2 new apples the next day. And if your bananas start to get brown, they'd bring you new bananas. You didn't ask, you didn't do it. They would just bring this stuff, and I would eat it too. I mean, you know, it was okay. Have a snack once in a while, sure. Nice fruit right there. It made it pretty cool. I went to the bookstore. I remember I went to the bookstore because I figured I'd have some downtime. So this was back when the Da Vinci Code was pretty big. That book. So I bought the Da Vinci Code, and I bought the Angels and Demons, which was kind of the prequel to the Da Vinci Code. So I was reading it, and that was funny because you were reading it and the book is printed in British English instead of American English. So like they're talking about tires on a car, like a car tire. So it's spelled Tyre instead of Tire. But anyway, so I left the books out one day, and I came back to my room, and after house cleaning had come, whatever they call it, maid service had come, they put bookmarks in my books for me. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was like, oh my God, that was so nice of them. I went to open my book, and there was a bookmark in each book. This says Claridge's, you know, just a basic, you know, heavy paper stock bookmark, but it was cool. It was logoed, and it was in the books. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You leave books out, they put bookmarks in it. You know, you eat a fruit, they bring you more of the fruit. You leave out your shoes, they clean your shoes. I didn't leave out my shoes. My shoes were fine. But, so yeah, so we're staying at Claridge's, and, you know, my boss was a very eccentric guy, and, he came to London because he saw a movie about the, Spitfire, the aircraft, and about how, this guy called R.J. Mitchell was the creator of the Spitfire aircraft, and how the Spitfire really played a major role in the Battle of Britain, and it was able to fight off the Germans, and really held London from being taken overrun with German planes. So, but R.J. Mitchell never got proper recognition for his efforts while he was alive. So my boss, after seeing a movie, started a foundation called the R.J. Mitchell Foundation, gave it a whole bunch of money. They had a statue commissioned of R.J. Mitchell, and it was being put on display in the London Science Museum. So we were there in the London Science Museum. There was a big spectacle, and my boss was speaking, and he said his few words. He got interviewed by the BBC News, and they were like, oh, this American is here pushing to have R.J. Mitchell recognized. He really wanted him to be knighted, but of course they don't do, after, what's that, posthumous, yeah, they don't do posthumous knightings, apparently. That's like a big no-no. But they did whatever they could do. He met with the prince. Prince Charles came. Actually, he went to Prince Charles. He met with the prince, and the prince gave him, I think I've told this story. The prince gave him a bag of crackers, or a box of crackers, because apparently Prince Charles owned some type of cracker company. Prince Philip. Yes, the older one. The Queen's husband. Oh, that's Prince Philip? Well, I don't know. Who's Prince Charles? Oh, okay. Okay, not Prince Charles. Prince Philip. Yeah, I'm sorry. So he met with the Queen's husband, Prince Philip. Right. So Prince Philip gave him a box of crackers. And because apparently the Queen's husband owns a cracker company or something. And there was nothing special. It's not like he signed it or anything. He just gave him a box of crackers. He also gave him a very cool statue of the Battle of Britain miniature, because there was a really big Battle of Britain memorial that was also on display, that was put down by the waterfront, and they gave him like a 1/10 scale version of that. But he also gave him this box of crackers. So we go to get back to the hotel room, and Mr. Frank's wife, who was also, we'll say, very eccentric, she opened the safe in his room, which had tens and tens of thousands of US dollars in it, and took out the money and put in the crackers, because the crackers she thought were more important than the money. What she didn't know, and what we didn't realize, was until we got back to our rooms and we noticed it, was that much like the fruit, every room had a box of the crackers from, Prince Philip's Cracker Company. So, some of the guys, not me, but some of the guys took their box of crackers and started eating it in front of Mr. Frank's wife. And she was getting nuts. She's like, "What are you doing? What are you eating?" She's like, "Where did you find those?" He's like, "I don't know. I think they were in the safe or something." And they'd start eating it. And she's like, No. She was going nuts. Then they calmed her down. But she took out, there was like $60,000 cash that now literally couldn't fit into the safe. That was outside of the safe so that they could keep a box of crackers inside the safe. It was a crazy trip. So many crazy things happened on that trip. But that's one of the best. Of course, when Mr. Frank got back to the United States and he had this 1/10 scale scale replica of the Battle of Britain monument on the London waterfront, he had a problem with customs because they were trying to figure out what it was worth. He's like, "Oh, I don't think it's worth any, it was just a gift from from Prince Philip. It doesn't have a value." And they're like, "Well, it's got to be worth this." And they wanted him to pay like an import fee. They wanted to value it at like $1 million. And granted, I'm sure it has some value, but I highly doubt it's $1 million. So it was like he was caught in customs for like 2 hours while his lawyers tried to figure out how to deal with getting this damn thing that the prince gave him, that honestly, I mean, it was nice looking, but I knew right away he would not have cared that much if he knew it was going to be such a hassle to bring home. He would have thankfully, but let him keep it. But yeah, that was a big deal, trying to get that back home through customs. John Street says, "Hit the dislike to help Bird grow." Wow, thank you, John Street. Dan23 says, "What is this live about?" Dan, it's pretty much about anything. It's much like a BedLife stream, but without the BedLife. Oh. Yes. Oh, Mama Pray has a topic. Come on, Mama Pray. Yeah, we can take the topic. Yeah, we can. Mom, I'm sure everybody would love to hear Mama Pray come in. Come over here, if you don't mind.
Hello, everyone. Afternoon, evening, whatever it is. Have a good one. My topic is premonitions. I almost said something different. I almost said propositions, and I knew that wasn't right. This may sound a little strange, but over the course of my life, I have gotten some premonitions. Not many, but some that either just come to me in the daytime or during a dream. And one in particular, let me back up and explain the relationship with my father-in-law and myself. We got along like oil and water, but we were really close. A Sunday afternoon dinner with both of us at the table sounded like, I guess, a Karoga Turkestanian war. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. We would yell and scream and holler at each other, but then, before the term agree to disagree became popular, that's basically what we would do. I couldn't change his mind on anything, and he couldn't change mine. And it was never anything important. But anyway, even when Bird and Sister Oprah were small, he would think nothing of just stopping by the house, hanging out. Dad Oprah was working, and he would just come, play with the kids, have coffee, hang out during the week. He owned a business that pretty much ran without him being there, so he didn't have to be any place at any special time, and he really enjoyed his grandchildren. Oh, as I say, we were close. And I don't know, one night I had a dream, and he was early 60s. I forget exactly how old, 64 maybe, or 68, maybe 68. And I dreamt I saw him in a coffin. It bothered me so much that the next day I got on the topic with my husband, and I said to him, you know, he was like 42 at the time. I said, you know, you've got both your parents alive, and you've had them for over 40 years. You know, that's a great thing. I mean, I lost both my parents. My mother, I was 5, and my father, I was like 23 or 24. So I appreciated the fact that, you know, he had both his parents, but I wanted him to maybe wake up a little bit that they wouldn't be around forever. And I couldn't tell him about the dream, but I kind of mentioned. Anyway, 2 days after the dream, my father-in-law went into the hospital with an aortic aneurysm. They operated on him, but to be honest, he never came home. He lasted a couple of more months. They transferred him to another hospital in Manhattan, but he did pass away. And I just felt terrible because I felt I knew what was coming. And that was really strange. That was... and sad. On another note, in the same kind of direction, in 2001, months before 9/11, I worked with a guy that it was like downtime, and he was just talking about a dream he had. And he said, I had a dream last night that we were at war. He goes, oh God, what's the name of that country? It starts with an A. Well, I went down a list of, I don't know, Argentina, but whatever I mentioned, and then I said Afghanistan. He said, yeah, that's it. And at that time, I said, why would we go to war with Afghanistan? That was a ridiculous dream. I don't have to tell you the rest. But anyway, I've also, had some good premonitions that came true. I wish I had had a premonition about Joe getting sick, but that didn't come. Anyway, now that I've interrupted your stream, I'm going to go cook dinner.
Are you serious? You're ending it on that note? There's no positive spin? There's no good thing? There's no something?
Okay, well, I could go on. I didn't know how long you wanted me.
Well, I was waiting to end on something positive.
To that spin, somebody dreaming that we were going to be at war with Afghanistan before 9/11.
That's not positive!
No, that wasn't. That was not positive. Okay.
Okay. No.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no, it's fine. I just...
Okay. I know I've had good ones. I know I have. But after talking about
it wasn't a premonition per se. But tell them about the time the telephone pole.
Oh, God, yes. Okay.
That's positive.
Yes, that was definitely a positive. Okay, growing up, not my growing up. Bird's growing up and his sister. We lived in a corner house. And, the street on the side was 2 lanes in each direction.
Yeah, it was an avenue.
Yeah, an avenue, and it was, anyway, had traffic on it, and sometimes trucks, not big tractor trailers usually, but whatever. So Joe and Sister O'Prey were outside, and they were playing at the corner of the property. It was fenced in, but there was a tree there, a bush, and they was just playing right around it.
Well, I was at the bush was at the very corner.
Yeah.
Of the property. I was at the bush with scissors, trimming it.
Yes.
And Sister O'Prey was still outside, but closer to the other side of the house, playing over there, where the wires came in.
Yes. Right. Well, I didn't get it. Directly on the corner was a wooden, I guess it was electric company wires, maybe phone company wires also.
A telephone pole with power and telephone, one or both. I don't know. One or the other, both, I'm not sure.
For absolutely no reason. No dinner, no bedtime, nothing. I called them both in. Not 2 minutes later, a dump truck with its back up came down the block, pulled down the wires, and hit the pole. The pole came down over our fence right where they had been playing. I have no idea why. What made me call them inside?
Well, I remember what made you call him. Daddy got pissed for some reason. Daddy came home.
Yeah.
And he, for some reason, was, uncharacteristically angry that I was out there with scissors trimming the bush. And
yeah, because he never got angry.
Right, Dad O'Prey did not get angry. For some reason, seeing me out there with scissors trimming the bush got him very upset, and he had Mom O'Prey call us in because Dad O'Prey was going to yell at me for trimming the bush. And I don't think I was inside a minute when we heard the big bang.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot why I called them in. I knew I had no reason to call them in. Yeah. But, God, they wouldn't... It would have been
bad.
Yeah.
It would have been bad.
For both of them.
Well, just a minute before, maybe 90 seconds before, literally right where I was, this big old telephone pole smashed right down, right next to the bush, smashed through our fence, and was laying on, right up into almost hit our house.
Yeah.
And the wires came down, and they would have either hit Sister O'Prey or trapped her between, the fence and where she was. I don't know if she would have known how to get out of there. I mean, I guess she could have maybe, crawled on the ground or something, but they were pretty low to the ground. Not low enough to step over, but not high enough to easily get under. I don't know if that was a Dad O'Prey premonition that he didn't understand what it meant, and he just decided to yell about it. Very uncharacteristic of Dad O'Prey to get angry like that.
Okay, guys, sorry for the interruption. I'm going back inside now.
They're asking if you have the winning Powerball numbers.
Oh, if I did. If I had the winning Powerball numbers, Joe wouldn't be doing JarLife. There would be 4 Andre the Giants carrying him around. I can't say that he would walk because I don't know if that ability is within this universe. But I would be able to afford enough people that he could go wherever he wanted to go.
Very true.
Yes. I'd still buy my clothes at Walmart, though.
4 Hodors. You don't know who Hodor is, so
no.
It's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mama O'Prey.
You're welcome. If you need me to answer anything, reach out.
Schrodewar says in song, home in Caroga where the sassy and alpacas play, where often is heard an SOB from Bird, and he flips off Turdistan all day. Schrodewar says greetings, Bird O'Prey, Mom O'Prey, and fellow nerds. Cinnabon says, hello, are we looking for new pets? No, we're not looking for new pets. Schrodewar says, and of course, in greetings to Sassy, chaser of cats, eater of cookies, stalker of cardinals, defiler of cushions, and scourge of the squirrels. Sassy, you've been scourging today? I don't think so, no. Alexander says, wow, they do have a coast. Yeah, Albania. Mom O'Prey knows best, absolutely. Dan23 says, I got Google News alerts about Area 51, but then it said I couldn't read them because I wasn't in that country. You got Google News alerts at Area 51, you couldn't read them because you weren't in the country? That's ridiculous. Basically, what happened at Area 51, best I can tell, is nothing. A lot of people went down there for a music concert, and people were live streaming the night of, and they got tens of thousands of people watching their live streams, but they didn't do shit. It was boring as hell. They were all just sitting there in vans and shit saying, oh my god, there's people outside, it's so scary, there's people with guns, they're afraid, and then they finally go down to the gate, as far as you can legally go, and there's 50 guards there. They brought in extra guards, and they were just joking and laughing with the guards who were like, yeah, we're not usually here, we're getting overtime. They pulled us in from so-and-so. And as long as you don't try to break the rules, you're fine. And everybody was just standing there, and not one person tried to make a run for the gate. So, complete. And granted, it was probably the smart thing to do was not make a run for the gate, but, what a waste. What a waste. Alexander says 40 people tried to storm Area 51. One was arrested for public urination, and woman for 2. And a woman for 2? Okay, well, I didn't see 40 people try to storm. If there were, I hope there's video of that. Sure, maybe we'll look. We'll look when I get to the end of the comments. Sharon Moore says again in song, my eyes have seen the glory of a weeping bird of prey. He crashes his ship into things that no one's crashed before. He shoots the turtle standing when his back is turned. Bird of prey marches on. Alexander says indecent exposure. Sharon Moore says the battle hymn of Karoga. Thomas Bot says good thing Bird doesn't look at space engineers on Discord. I spend so little time on Discord. Ozzy NF says, Bird, those turtle-standy bastards. Yes. Yeah, Ozzy. Sherelle says, Bird, says, Thomas, have you moved into the super secret Karogan base that no one could possibly find? I doubt it. Thomas, says, not me. Dan23 says, I finally found your second channel. Wow, very cool. Sherelle says, Thomas Bots are using an outhouse for the Turtistani base. Using it as an outhouse for the Turtistani base. Not true. John Streets is breaking news. The Turtistani Civil War has ended earlier today. The rebels, New Turtistan, calling themselves Karoga, have surrendered to Turtistani forces. All that remains is to capture the rebel leader. That is completely fake. John Streets is Bird of Prey, aka Alpaca of Prey. Alexander says, what spec of PC do I need to play? Can I play it on a Windows laptop if I bought one? Well, I mean, there's a large difference between laptops. I play it on a laptop, but I have a particularly powerful laptop. If you have a laptop with a discrete video card, I would say chances are you could probably play it, but I would suggest you go to the Steam page and look at the minimum requirements. I don't know them offhand, but I mean, Space Engineers itself was made in 2013, so it's not a cutting-edge game. Thomas says, do you crash into the Queen's carriage, then get locked in the tower only to break out and go into the Queen's bedroom? No, I think you're thinking of The Simpsons. Josh reads his Bird of Prey. When New York was called the colony New Amsterdam, the river, the bay, and the ocean was brown. Really? It was brown even then? I'm shocked. Shromore says an alpaca raisins on the floor. Cinnabon says Claridge's is awesome. Have you been there, Cinnabon? Alexander says I'm a pilot for airlines, yet I do some corporate jets and flight instruction. Very cool. Alexander, yes, says Prince Charles is the next king. Okay, so then it was Prince Philip. Thomas Potts says, fun fact, Anti-Trekker met King George III. Alexander says, really? Thomas says, Anti-Trekker used to clean his chamber pot. Dado D says, hi, welcome Dado D. You seem new here, welcome. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Alexander says, very good job for a hobbit. Shromore says the last queen will say to Prince Charles, the last thing the queen will say to Prince Charles before he becomes king will be, Charles, what are you doing with that pillow? Dan23 says, I used to have an emoji of crackers on my phone, but it seems not to be there. Probably it was deemed racist. Alexander says, yeah, no poop. I really thought she would step down to see her son become king. I hear the queen still drives herself around. I don't know if it's true, because I really just don't care much. Yes. Mamo Pray. Did you say something?
No, totally.
Oh, you were talking sassy. Okay, I'm sorry. John Street says, we love when Mamo Pray tells stories of Bird. Shumwars with Alexander, you got to give her credit. She is really hanging in there. She is, yes. Alexander agrees. Dan23 says, Queen Elizabeth is married to Prince Philip. The law does not allow the husband the title of king. Yeah, I heard about that. I don't understand it, but, it doesn't matter. Shrelmore says, Dan23, I believe his title is Prince Consort. Cinnabon says, Mamo Pray, what are the winning Powerball numbers? I asked her. No luck. Dan23 says, I saw a TV show where some people in time traveled back to the 60s, America. One of them accidentally said in the future there's a war with Afghanistan. and the people's reaction why we would be at war with Afghanistan. Yeah, that would be weird. Shromworth and Mama Pray, it's always great to hear your stories. And Thomas, in capital letters, don't raise your voice at Mama Pray. Sorry, Thomas. Sorry, Mama Pray.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you.
Mama Prays, thank you, Thomas and everybody. Alexander says, I'm sorry, Mama Pray. I lost mother 2 months ago to sudden cardiac arrest. I have her CPR for 18-minute waiting on the EMT. She passed in the hospital an hour later. I miss her every day. I am so sorry, Alexander. Yes. And Schronmore is also sorry for your loss. Dan23 once saw a large truck do a 360, turn it, hit a street light, and smashed all the glass. Yeah, I can believe it. Cinnabon Lold, Godspeed, says Berta Prey. Hello, Mama Pray. Hope you are well. Hope you will love my restaurant Beagle Bites. Bring Sassy. We are running out of mystery meat. See, Godspeed. Mama Pray does not like that. Thomas's bird wants to see the army run people over at Area 51. Cinnabon, and it jumped. Cinnabon says, I wanted to see them set the dogs loose on some people. Dan23 says, I like CBS Star Trek on Twitter. A lot of times their videos are not available in my country for viewing. Dan23, I don't know if you want to do it or if you know how to do it. But if you get yourself a very cheap VPN, I mean, there's VPNs that cost like $2 a month if you pay for it a year in advance or 2 years in advance. You know, for $50, you get 2 or 3 years worth of VPN service. And with a couple of clicks, you literally can make your computer appear to be in any country you want. I personally use a service called PureVPN. And it's very simple. If I ever need to, you know, have the computer pretend that it's in Europe or South America or anywhere in the world, in a couple of clicks I can do it, and I immediately have access to anything that was otherwise geo-restricted. And I mean, like I said, it is so ridiculously cheap that I strongly recommend anybody use it. And also, if you ever need extra protection for whatever reason, you have it if you're using a VPN. Joseph says, I have friends visiting, can't watch. Phil said, oh, Joseph, don't worry. Go be with your friends. Don't worry about it. But thank you for coming. Mr. Lundell's Groovy Movie says, there are no alien bodies in Area 51. There were no live aliens at Area 51. There were no alien spaceships or crashed or intact at Area 51. Area 51 is a super secret proving ground, yes. And they moved all the aliens to a different base. Dan23 says, yesterday in England there was protests for climate change from kids to adults and a few arrests made. Yeah, we had them here too. Big waste of time. Captain MKG says, for a second I thought I read it JarLife, and I started to get worried. Welcome, Captain MKG. Mr. Lindell says, for technology created by really smart people that were born and raised on planet Earth, there, I said it. Oh, the Area 51 stuff. Oh, there's definitely stuff tested at Area 51 made by really smart Earthlings. That's without a doubt. I mean, the SR-51 Blackbird was tested there, among others. But is that all that's there is the question. Dan23 says, when Prince Philip drives around, and that was on the news recently for having a tiny crash. Godspeed says, Epper to pray, title Prince Consort, Duke of Edinburgh, Earl of Glastonbury. King is higher than Queen, and since he's the reigning monarch's husband, he is lower than her, therefore Prince. Well, if you're saying King is higher than Queen, then when Prince Charles becomes King Charles, Is his wife going to become queen? I doubt it, right? What I heard was that England could not have a king and queen at the same time. You either had a king or a queen. Dan 23 says, do people in America like Meghan Markle, married English royalty? Dan, what? Yeah, like Mama Pray cares more about that stuff. She thinks most people. I mean, listen, I don't think anybody dislikes her for marrying English royalty. I kind of pissed off that she did it only because she left Suits. I mean, that was the only problem, was that I kind of enjoyed Suits. And when she left and then Mike Ross left because she had to leave the show, that was pretty crappy. And then the final episode of Suits was just this past week. The only reason, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't blame her. Great, she married somebody, that's fine. I don't care. Good for her. I mean, honestly, it really doesn't matter to me who she married, whether she married some random guy or British royalty. I don't care. As long as she's happy, it doesn't affect me. Doesn't change my life. Dan says some racist UK think Prince Harry should be killed for marrying a foreigner. The same type of people that Donald Trump retweeted once. Well, Trump retweets lots of people. Haven't you had royalty in the past that's married Americans? I'd imagine it's not that she's a foreigner. I'd imagine it was her skin color. But, that's only between the guy she's marrying and her. I don't think anybody else really needs to worry about her skin color.
It was the actress Grace Kelly.
Grace Kelly.
But that was Monica.
Oh, it was Monica.
Yes.
Okay. I would imagine if she was a white American, I'll be honest. Listen, I'm not saying, obviously I don't agree with racists, but I would have guessed that you'd probably still have some people upset that she was marrying an American, but I'd imagine there'd be less people upset if it was a white American or an American descended from British, that could trace their relatives back to the UK. Miss Lundell says SR71 Blackbird. Thomas Potts breaking Nog actor in hospital in critical condition. What's up with that? Nog, oh, he has a kidney problem. That's why he's so short. Oh man, that's terrible. He was luckily, he had a big part in the What We Left Behind documentary. And was he at Las Vegas signing autographs? Nog actor hospital. Google knows. Aaron Eisberg. Okay. Yeah, he has some type of medical condition. And that's why he's particularly short. "70 members of Star Trek's cast and crew just wrote an epic anti-Trump letter." Well, I'm seeing JJ Trek, so I tell you who didn't write an anti-Trump letter: William Shatner. When was this dated? Oh, this is 2016. 9/30/2016. Well, guess what? Don't give a shit. really didn't give a shit already. But Aaron Eisberg, Twitter, maybe. Proud father, actor, and filmmaker. Still working on making a film. Oh, and I'm the Ferengi kid on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Where's my whip? That's funny, because Ferengi used to, on TNG, the Ferengi had whips. Had phaser whips. This is me every single day since the elections. Literally, this is me. Well, it doesn't seem like there's anything. Just one word, impeach. Oh, great. He retweeted Ilhan Omar. Making me very hard to feel bad for you, Aaron Eisenberg. But I still do. And I certainly know what it's like to be in critical condition, and I hope you are okay, man. Even if I clearly disagree with you politically, I did love your work on Deep Space Nine, and I hope you are okay. Aaron Eisenberg, critical condition. Let's see. Here we go. Reddit. Well, you see, a lot of fake news starts on Reddit. Aaron Eisenberg, who played in DS9, has been admitted to hospital in critical condition. Aaron Eisenberg is in the hospital in critical condition. Please send good thoughts, prayers, and anything positive. So who is this? Actress, artist, mother of Cujo. Right. 209. What happened? Can you say? It doesn't matter what happened. Sending good thoughts to you, Melissa. And Aaron. So maybe Melissa's his wife or his girlfriend, his baby's mama. Why do they have to spell the name wrong? And that's not how you spell Melissa. Malissa. Of course it matters. Gian Bianco, of course it matters. She wouldn't have posted that if he needed prayers, if it was just a cold. He has medical problems, so they're very serious. It doesn't matter. It's clearly private. Well, if you're posting about it, it's not that private. Hang in there. Just need a word. We are sending love. Here's hoping for speedy recovery. Yes. Come on. Do we have anything? I mean, let's face it. Star Trek actors, all types of things. Old age, killed by their jeeps. Let's hope it wasn't by jeep. Although I gotta say that maybe it was a premonition. Steve and Ira Bear, they did kill Nog in the season 8, the Deep Space Nine, documentary. What we left behind in the season 8, in the episode 1, season 8, episode that they storyboarded into that documentary. They do open up that episode with killing Nog, who was captain of the Defiant, and he dies. He dies before the credits roll. Prayers, hoping he's okay. What happened? Oh no, I was just watching some DS9 with a Nog-centric episode. Wish him a speedy recovery. Care Bear, aw, Care Bear, love. Please get well soon. Oh, got a ton of people wishing him good luck. But I don't see anything. I don't see any details on what actually happened. I mean, I don't particularly like TMZ, but this is usually the kind of thing that they would have info on. Nope, nothing. Nothing. Well, if anybody wants to, it's Melissa with MALISSA _ Longo, LONGO. If you wanna follow this, she's got an IMDb link.
What?
Steve won the Powerball. When?
What, like tonight?
Yeah.
That's not Nog. That's not Nog.
I wish you were in my vintage record collection because I'd like to scratch your intellectual surface. Ow!
Hipsters in Harlem?
I live by one motto in this life, the 2 V's, vintage and vegan.
What?
Can you believe these guys?
Men.
Oh man, toxic masculinity. Well, I hope he's okay. Be right back with some commercials. Wrong thing.
37 years ago, Club Med made a special arrangement with civilization. Send us your frazzled, you're crazed, you're beleaguered, you're burnt out, you're overburdened, you're tension-riddled, and we'll send you back a human being.
The Computer Factory wants you to get the competitive edge with the Apple rebate sale. Purchase a qualifying Apple system now and get cash back. Buy the Apple IIgs for only $549 after Apple rebate, or the Apple IIc for only $549 after rebate, or the powerful Macintosh Plus for only $1,449 after Apple rebate. Hurry in to your nearest Computer Factory store for their lowest prices of the year on Apple. Plenty of stock on hand at all Computer Factory locations.
When that sun breaks out, lift up your head and shout, it's gonna be a great day.
Kellogg's waits for you, that spirit comes shining through, promising you a great day. How could you think of starting this bright new morning without your K-double-L? Oh, it's double good with Kellogg's, you'll have a great day.
Kellogg's has been making great days for more people for more years with more cereals than anyone. Corn Flakes, Rice Krispies, Frosted Flakes, Product 19. Trust your mornings to Kellogg's.
Very best part of starting your bright new morning is Kellogg's way. It's not far away. Kellogg's will help you say there's gonna be a great, we're gonna see a great, it's gonna be a great day.
Okay, I'm back. So, apparently on the Reddit post, which I clicked off of, it did say that he was born with only one kidney and he's twice had kidney transplants as recently as a few years ago, so it could be related to that. He said 2 transplants, the most recent in 2015. Yeah, they don't have anything else but the tweet. Best wishes to his family and to him and his family. Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
I just remembered it.
Okay. Yeah. Come on. You might as well tell it.
All right.
Mom will pray, remembering there was more to our story.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm getting old, guys. The memory is not what it used to be. But going with the story about my father-in-law and the fact that we were pretty close, he passed away in May. I believe it was 1994. But the following July was my nephew's 2nd birthday. And we had the party in the boat club that Dad O'Prey belonged to. It just picture like any park with picnic tables. And we were all sitting outside and barbecuing. And it came time for the cake. So my nephew was there with his parents and his other grandfather. And I was sitting, not that far away at a picnic table looking up. And as I looked up, I saw my father-in-law, who had passed. He was standing there with them. And I turned to Dad O'Prey's sister, and I said, "You know your father's there, standing right behind nephew." And she said, "I'm not surprised." And she said, "And I'm not surprised you see him." I just shrugged and said, "Okay." Unfortunately, that was the last time I saw him. But these things don't happen often, but they do happen. That's it. Now my story's over. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. Bye.
So you guys see where I get my powers from now. You thought I was kidding.
Powers are crazy.
It's powers. Okay, so after Thomas reported the breaking news from the Nog actor, Aaron Eisenberg, being in critical condition, God speeds his bird of prey. Debatable. Usually they have a king and queen, and Meghan is seen as a twat. Well, he said everything I read says they can only have a king or a queen. When was the last time they had a king and a queen? Dan23 says, I don't see anything about Star Trek Nog actor. Yeah, you gotta look really hard. God speeds his bird of prey, king before queen established. Elizabeth's father married a divorced woman. God, I know a lot about this, and I'm a Republican anti-monarchist. Lol. Kenwick says, post-World War I, a lot of British aristocracy, not the royal family, but level below them, dukes, etc., got taxed a lot. There, those aristos married nouveau rich Americans. God speeds his bird of prey. She traced her family back to the UK. She is up her butt. Well, maybe she has one ancestor from the UK. I don't know. Dan23 says, yes, she is short because of he is short because of a medical operation he had when he was younger. And Thomas puts in the link that he saw it on, which is different than the link I had. Yes, our thoughts with Aaron Eisenberg and his family right now. You're one of your favorite people, Aaron. We're pulling for you. That's from Star Trek Online. Oh, that's cool that they said that. Dan23 says, why does everything have to be Trump? I don't know, Dan. It gets clicks. That's why. If you put Trump in the title, it's going to get clicks. It's going to get clicks from people who love Trump, and it's going to get clicks from people who hate Trump. And it's going to get clicks from people like me who want to see what people are saying about Trump for I don't know why. Dan23 says it seems to be Star Trek Online Twitter. Dan23 says Anti-Trekker. Check out Star Trek Online Twitter. Was Anti-Trekker here? I haven't seen Anti-Trekker, and I'm on live chat. Kenowix says no spoiler warning from Bird for a hypothetical season 8 unsubbed. I told you guys I was going to start spoiling it once it got released to public, which it did months ago. Dan23 said, yeah, that DS9 Doc season 8 episode thing, they did use the same ship for Ezri Dax from a member of a novel where she is a captain. Hector says, hi guys, welcome Hector. The Shadow Walker 007 says, liked, got to go, bye. Well, I hope you got to enjoy a little bit of it, The Shadow Walker. Thank you for the like. Mike Richards says, hey, Hector, Miss Lodell says, okay, looks like she does indie movies, what we used to call B movies in the 80s. I'll be honest, I would not even call them B movies. Indie movies. Calling them B movies is a B is a pretty good grade, right? I mean, these are, I would grade them like D plus. Dan23 says, which Star Trek show had the best ending? The best final episode? Well, it's definitely not TOS, because its last episode was crap. Even it wasn't meant to be a final episode, but it was just crap. And it certainly wasn't Enterprise, because its final episode was crap. Voyager has Endgame. DS9 says What We Leave Behind. And TNG has All Good Things. I gotta say, it's tough. I really liked, I mean, I love DS9. Don't get me wrong. I love Deep Space Nine. I would put DS9 above TNG, every day of the week. However, on final episode, it's close. All Good Things might slightly beat out What We Leave Behind. Just because All Good Things had all the characters we'd come to know and what over the seasons before. And What We Leave Behind, as much as I like Deep Space Nine, they brought in Ezri Dax in the very last season, and they made, and don't get me wrong, I loved Ezri Dax, but then they also brought in late Vic Fontaine, and again, I love Vic Fontaine, but we got 2 new characters with a season left to go, and they ended up taking up a big part of the screen time of the final season, and I just didn't feel it was necessarily fair to the other actors and the people we'd come to love. Now I came to love Ezri and I came to love Vic Fontaine too, so I'm not totally upset about it, but I don't know. I guess I'd probably be tied or it'd be really close. It's either All Good Things or What We Leave Behind. And yeah, I didn't like that. I'll be honest. I really didn't love that Deep Space Nine. Everybody kind of broke up. Miles went back to Earth, and Cisco became a wormhole alien, and Worf became an ambassador or something to Kronos. Martok became head of the Klingon. And Martok I didn't mind becoming Chancellor or whatever. Dan Newingtree says Chuck Norris is known for B movies. Well, Chuck Norris, if Chuck Norris is in a movie, it's all automatically an A movie. Kenwick says, wonder what the Apple IIc would be the same price as a 2GS. Why would the 2C be the same price as the 2GS? Huh. I'm not sure. Agnes says no B movies are because no B movies are known because Chuck Norris. And Joseph Patrick with a €2 super chat says, I am back. No aggressive lullaby for today, please.
Scotty, beam me up.
Joseph, don't worry about it. Joseph, we got breaking news from Thomas Potts. Aaron Eisenberg, the actor who played Nog on Deep Space Nine, is in the hospital in critical condition. We don't know why he's in the hospital, but he has a history of kidney disease. And he's had 2 kidney transplants already. So, it could be kidney related. Mark Andy says, Bird is making me feel old. Making me feel old. Kenwick says, TNG had the best ending IMO. Nice, well-written story that tied up plot arcs, etc. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I liked it. Dan23 says, over the years, Kellogg's has had some weird names of cereal. What, Product 19 is the weird name, Dan? Kenwick says, kidney disease is not a pleasant way to suffer a long-term health problem. The only ones I can think of is worse is COPD. Or some other lung issue. Yeah, Kenwick, I hear ya. Dan23 puts in a sad face. Thomas says, we need a Mamo Pray and Mrs. Anti-Trekker show. We need it now. 100,000% of people agree. Kenwick says, quick, someone get Mamo Pray. Mitochondrion count. Oh, midichlorian count. Oh, right, midichlorians. Those are the things that give you the Force in Star Wars. Thomas says there's only one way a king and queen when the king is the monarch. There is only a king and a queen when the king is the monarch. Okay, well that's not what I read, but that's fine. Godspeed says Bird of Prey, Queen Elizabeth's father, his wife. Queen Elizabeth's father, his wife was queen, his dad was king, his mom queen, his mother was Queen Victoria, and Prince Albert then king. Oh my God. I can't, I'm an American, Godspeed. I can't follow that logic. I need arrows and lines. Thomas Potts' Queen Elizabeth's father was King George VI, and mother was Queen Elizabeth, who you might have known as the Queen Mother.
Why did she step down or Elizabeth?
So the Queen Mother, though, didn't become queen? Or isn't the queen? I don't get it. I understand, but after King George died, the monarch went to the daughter. So the wife didn't become monarch. The daughter became the monarch. The queen became the monarch. No, she didn't. I don't think she stepped down. It's very weird, these rules you people have over there. And I know, Godspeed, you're not English, but still. It's very weird. Thomas says, I just read that. Godspeed's a Bird of Prey. Your next BedLife title, feminist live stream, down with the cishet patriarchy. See who shows up. Thomas says Thanos was in Voyager. Did I say Thanos? Thomas says DS9 final episode is the best. Yeah, it's really close. Kennewick says the chat loves Sassy. Everybody loves Sassy. Cinnabon Bunny says DS9 ending felt too rushed. The second half, war resolution was a bit weak. I also thought it was a bit rushed. Dan23 says DS9, they conceived of the idea of Vic in season 4. They asked Frank Sinatra Jr. to do it, but he said no. That would have been awesome. Although, to be honest, I'm very happy with the guy they got. Whatever his name is. James what? James Darren, Mama Pray things. And let's face it, he's still alive, whereas Frank Sinatra Jr., unfortunately, has since passed away. Joseph says, that is sad. Hope he recovers. Young people do not belong 6 feet under. Thomas Potts says, so they're going through my friend's house that burnt down. Her 3-year-old granddaughter is here, driving me crazy. Thomas, just give her a little rum. No. Mama Pray is saying no. I always thought that was the secret. You gave kids, not a whole glass, but just a couple of drops in a juice cup.
Rub whiskey on your gums from my finger on your gums when you were teething.
Mama Pray used to force feed me whiskey
while
I was teething. She just admitted it.
Not force feed.
Put it on your finger and put it on my gums.
My finger on your gums.
Thomas's Bird, is there a YouTube channel that shows royal family lines? Probably. I'm so sorry, Thomas, but show us some Star Trek or something. Get her hooked. Let her play with her spaceships. Dan23 says, yeah, but in the last episode of TNG, Worf and Deanna Troi are in a relationship, and we don't see any more of that. No, because we see that Worf left. They broke up, okay? They broke up sometime before Generations, and, or maybe we didn't break up yet, but they weren't together. Weren't together on screen. And then Worf left to go to Deep Space Nine, and Deanna went back to Riker, and that was it. Worf traded up. Worf traded up Troi for Jadzia. So Worf came out on top. Now, granted, Jadzia died, but he had a very good year, and he did get a little bit of Ezri afterwards, even still. Thomas Butts' Bird is their YouTube channel. Yosef is suggesting duct tape for Thomas. Godspeed is Bird of Prey. When the King George died, the crown passed to the child. The spouse had no entitled crown. She was a baby. She is a baby machine, basically. Her husband is her king, and she had to bow to her daughter when she was crowned. So they called her Queen Mother, but she wasn't the queen. So it's not the queen. Thomas Potts says, fun fact, when Elizabeth became queen, her grandmother, Queen Mary, was still alive, so the UK had 3 queens. Only the current queen was the monarch. Mark Andy says, oddly enough, last night I saw a video about who would be the present heir in England through Stuart Jacobite line. It turns out to be a Bavarian duke, I think, so Germans everywhere. Agnes's Bird converting toddlers to alcoholics. Wow. Kennewick says, let her tickle your Worf nacelles. Mark Andy says, I typed that without seeing Potts' post. Thomas Potts says, I'm glad this girl doesn't seem traumatized from her house catching fire, and my ships aren't toys. I'm sure she will play with it responsibly, Thomas. Girls are more mature than boys. Did you say? Excuse? Oh, you're sassy. Okay. Dan20C said Worf did not stay an ambassador for long. Kennewick says actual quote by Geordie, I think. And Godspeed says Bird of Prey, she is the queen's mother. If she's the queen's mother, she's not a queen. Bird of Prey, male version is King Father, says Godspeed. Okay, I'm going to redo the English family. Okay? You got a king, and his wife is the queen. If you have a queen, and she has a husband, his wife is the king. And if one of them dies, the other one remains. And when they either retire or have kids or die, then it gets passed on to the firstborn, and so on in that matter until, until the people of England rise up and realize that monarchy is just stupid. And they want to become the 51st state. The Claridge's Hotel had a bar. Every night we would go to that bar. It was the only, 2.5 weeks of my life where I was drunk. Or I wasn't really drunk because I can't get drunk. But I was buzzed every night for 2.5 weeks straight. It was the 2.5 weeks I drank the most of my entire life. That was probably 80% of my lifetime alcohol consumption came over those 2.5 weeks. And one guy was there one time. He was like, "Oh, you guys are Americans." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'd rather see us become the 51st state than become part of a European Union." I was like, "Yeah, okay, we're down with that." He seemed cool. I mean, granted, I don't think most of the UK would agree with that, but he did. Kennewick says Queen Elizabeth II is part German. House of Windsor used to be called Saxe something something. They became Windsor during World War I. And Thomas Potts puts up a YouTube video. If you feel like it, here is the British royal family line. Very cool. Mark Andy says also Princess Diana descended from an illegitimate branch of the Stuarts, making her kids somewhat Jacobite. Godspeed his bird of prey. The correct word for monarch is monarchical system. And Dan23 says, do you think America will get any more states? I do. It will probably... I think we're probably going to have to do it like we've done it in the past, where we admit one Republican state and one Democrat state at the same time, because I think that's the only way Congress would ever go for it. So I don't know what the states would be. We might get like Puerto Rico, but at the same time we break up, I don't know, Texas or something into two states that would both presumably vote Republican. And I know Texas has actually gotten very Democratic in the last 20 years. I understand that. But if you draw the borders well enough, you can make two Republican states out of Texas. So you might be able to do something like that and bring in Puerto Rico. I'm 100% for removing the District of Columbia, removing their electoral votes completely. The District of Columbia should never have had electoral votes. They're not supposed to. I think it's not, frankly, I think it's, I don't know if they've got, honestly, I'm assuming they had to have added them in by an amendment somewhere along the line. And if they did, I guess they'll never change. But if it's not by amendment, then it should totally be taken away. Mark Andy, yeah, also Princess Diana, illegitimate branch, making her kids somewhat Jacobite. Godspeed his bird of prey. The correct word for monarch is monarchical system. Okay. Dan23, do you think America will get more states? Joseph says the German heritage comes from the Saxony-Anhalt. Ms. Lundell says, I believe the real Windsor family name is Saxe-Coburg. Thomas says, no, break up California, one Dem state, one Republican state. Yeah, but where? If you break up California to one Democrat state, one Republican state, you might get San Diego in, but you get no other major California city. You get no other major California city in. San Francisco, LA, even Sacramento. Those are all have to be part of all of the Democratic side. Richie Poole says, hello there, everyone. Welcome, Richie Poole. You're coming in just at the end. Joseph says, I'm only wondering why I know this kind of stuff. It's like that unnecessary stuff you remember. Mark Andy says, Texas can legally split into as many as 5 states, and Vermont was admitted with guaranteed voluntary succession. Oh. Well, I've heard the Texas thing before. I thought I heard it was bogus, but I don't know. I've never heard the Vermont thing. Richie Poole says, yeah, we'll give you San Diego. Oh, well, if you give San Diego. Cinnabon Bunny says there were two things that are going. I think it's better chance that the U.S. will split in two before we get new states. New USA and Liberal Land. Well, Cinnabon, the problem is that the geography just isn't there. There's no way, I mean, geographically, we're too intermixed to split into two countries. Unless there's an East Coast and a West Coast are the same country and they're not connected in any way, shape, or form. And then there's just this big thing going down the middle, and then there's a bubble for Chicago. So there's like 3 pockets of one country and then one big contiguous other country. And Hawaii goes with the liberal countries, and Alaska goes with the Republican ones. Richie Poole says, united we stand, divided we fall. And yet, so many people get on Twitter and try to divide us. It's weird like that. I don't understand. And Richie Poole says, we are falling. Thomas says, move all liberals to California and let it secede. I'm for that. Although I will miss Yosemite, but I'm for it. Joseph says, few earthquakes, hurricanes, and Cinnabon plans will be a reality. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for today's stream. I hope you didn't mind the JarLife not having the bed stream. I figured we'd try it for a Saturday. Just makes my life easier, frankly. It makes Mama Pray's life a lot easier. And, I could do this every once in a while instead of playing a game if you guys are interested. Richie Poole says, move all conservatives to Texas and build a wall. Well, conservatives would own a much larger percentage of the country by land mass than liberals. Just pointing that out. Mark Andy says, a legal question never asked is, can a state be evicted? That's a good question. I'm guessing no. And Mark Andy likes JarLife. Very cool. Joseph says, Bird of Prey, why did you stop with the green screen? And JarLife is good if you're not doing makeup tutorials. I stopped with the green screen because it was more work on Mama Prey. And you had to get the lighting right for it to work. And frankly, the green screen I had was just a little too small to fit. It was a lot harder. It was more work on Mama Prey, and Mama Prey already does so much work. And don't get me wrong, she would do it. She would do it if I asked. But I feel so bad, and it's actually a lot harder to get a decent green screen effect because I don't have particularly good lighting. I don't have separate lights. The lights I have are directly overhead, so it makes a lot of shadows on the green screen. So you're really, really limited on what I could do on the green screen well. If I had a really good green screen behind me, I would love to do the green screen. But reality is I don't. And I could do it, but it'd just be all that much more work for Mama Prey. Thomas says, so most other states will be empty. Richie Poole says, make all conservative New Texans pay for the wall. And Mark Andy says, there are 4 lights. Indeed. There are 4 lights. Okay, guys, take care. Qapla, I will see you guys tomorrow. I guess we'll do a game tomorrow or something. What is JarLife? Did I say JarLife? No, it's JarLife. JarLife. JarLife is basically BedLife, but without the bed. Without the bed on the stream. Joseph Pedricks is Bird of Prey. We like your natural beauty, so it's okay. Well, thank you, Joseph. Thank you. Take care. Mike Richards says, if JarLife makes your life easier, go for it. Well, it does. I'm not going to make it every BedLife isn't going to become JarLife, but maybe weekends we'll do JarLife. Richie Poo says, oh, you're in a jar. Oh, yeah. And Thomas is telling me tomorrow is DS9 Wednesday. It is not, but good try. Take care. Qapla. Thank you all for watching my video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out BirdOPrey5.com, the new home of everything Bird of Prey 5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/BirdOPrey5 or on BirdOPrey5.com. Take care.